Hey guys, Infidel1258. In this video, myself and the members only live event are going to talk about tokenomics within Splinterlands. We're going to talk about preference between GLX tokens and vouchers. And then we have to carry on into SPS versus DC. And of course, where do cards and rental opportunities fit into the conversation? There's so much to be excited about and so many different investment opportunities right now that I think are worth your attention within Splinterlands that I hope you'll stick around and enjoy this video with me. Guys, thanks so much. Have an amazing day. God bless. GLX is lower than vouchers. What do you like better at these prices? Oh man. Dude, so many good questions. You guys are on fire today. I'm trying to swing back to that other one, Tune, but that's tough, dude. See, the thing about GLX, I like what they're doing. And I think that they have a strong probability of being successful. I think from what we saw at Fest, it looked very early. I believe they have very little to kind of show at this moment. I think those were just essentially just screenshots. I don't think there's a lot of meat on the bones at this moment, but what we saw is a target. And I like where they're aiming. And so I actually am quite hopeful that they will be successful. Plus the partnership within Splinterlands does great things for my confidence with them. So I'm very hopeful about GLX, about the GLG project and those tokens. But I think they're gonna keep falling. I don't see why they would stop falling. There's so much inflation. There's no project. This is a bear market where people are panicking. People want to reclaim some assets to have either some money in the bank or to reinvest with. You're always looking at what other options are out there, and then you're getting given this token for free. In some cases, you're getting a lot of it. If you were lucky enough to buy the 2-cent GLX, then you're potentially getting a lot of this a day. The other day I was getting $10 a day for this thing, and $300 a month was conceivable. Now, I put no money into this thing, just that's my SPS airdrop function. And so if you were lucky enough to buy the 2-cent GLX, holy cow, you could have been getting hundreds of dollars a day worth of GLX. And I think that's happening with a lot of users, and that sell pressure is so powerful. I can't say I prefer GLX over vouchers. But then again, vouchers don't have a strong argument for immediate use case or immediate positive price gain either. So you're kind of looking, I don't know that I like either of them for the short term. Because what's the next big thing for vouchers even, right? Like, it's not like we have we do actually have another promo card, right? We have a promo card coming probably in December, they tell us, and that'll be a common one, I think, and they said less expensive. And presumably there'll be some voucher cost to that, but that'll be a one-time thing. It'll sell 1,000 units, maybe 2,000 units. And then I think we get the same thing where vouchers is like perhaps going from its current price to 50% more. And then trickling until we get something where we constantly want to need more vouchers to buy another thing, like Gathering was suggesting earlier, where maybe you can use them from a dollar perspective to buy packs, but then would that cause vouchers to raise in price? I don't think so, because it would be a dollar perspective, and you would be getting, if you need to spend 10 of them to get $1.50, then you're not deleting those. They're just being spent, I assume, unless it was like being locked up in the DAO, or unless it was being literally burnt. And so I don't know that I like either of them from a short-term perspective, but I do like them both from a long-term perspective. In fact, I've been saying to myself, I'm going to let my GLX just accumulate. I'm not going to buy any extra, but I am going to buy vouchers. I am going to be, as time permits, as my finances permit, I'm definitely going to be buying more vouchers. I want a ton more vouchers. That's an asset I think people who like Splinterlands are going to wish they had more of. Same with SPS though. And then the question's like, which one's more important? I think SPS is more important. But yeah, I don't really have an opinion between those specific two. Not enough syncs that people are actually using, says Paul. I think that's 100% true. But what do we do to make an ongoing sync that is desirable and constant? Not like a one-off, here's a new promo card, but this constant sync. Butter says vouchers, Chuny, GLX under 3 cents soon. I think that's probably true. I mean, GLX was at 2 cents before when Butters loaded the bags up, right? So here's the question. Why wouldn't it go back there and test that? I'm not a huge, chart guy, but that just makes a lot of sense. If it was there before and it bounced hard to 25 cents or 50 cents or whatever it did, it almost makes perfect sense that it would eventually trickle down. That might not be overnight, but it might bounce at 8 cents and go up to 15, and you can see some positive gain in between there. But I think ultimately there's no reason why GLX wouldn't go back and test that low. That's very, very common in any market, and that could take a year. And so in the meantime, I would be a seller of GLX unless you just are so long term you don't even care about the white noise of, well, maybe I sell for 9 and I buy back at 7, which I don't care about that white noise. I'm like, I'll check out my GLX in 4 years and see how it happened. Paul Taylor says 40,000 vouchers released per day. Okay, every day, 40,000 times 30 days. 40,000 times, I can't do that math in my head. 1.2 million per month. 14 million a year. Yeesh, that's a big number. But I think if we actually bought the product that's on the market, like Rift Watchers and validator nodes, which it's not fair to say validator nodes because there's no way we're buying validator nodes at the existing price tiers because the profitability isn't there. But yeah, again, I don't know how to think through, could we go too far? And would that create a bottleneck in the future? I don't know the answer to that. I'm loading up on as much assets as I can afford. DEC, Vouchers, GLX, SPS, and also Forge. I'm actually interested in all of those too. I just don't want to buy GLX. And right now I'm not prioritizing Vouchers, but I want them. I am thinking about taking another bite of SPS, but I don't really believe it's going to stop where it's at. So then I think maybe I'll do a dollar cost average and I'll buy like 200 this month and again 200 next month and just see. But I definitely want more SPS. I want 1 million SPS. And that to me on that list is, well, do I want DEC more? Is another big question because DEC is almost at half its value. In my opinion, the peg will be respected one day. And so I honor that mentally in my mind. And I say that's a more likely gain and like an easier gain than seeing SPS move from its current 3.5 cents to 50 cents or $1. That to me is going to be dependent on there being a crypto bull market, whereas the DEC gain is going to actually be dependent on product opportunity. Amazing product being released within Splinterlands, being DEC pegged, and that can be tied to non-crypto bull market stuff, such as we run out of card assets, which then trigger, which I don't know if this is going to happen, but just imagine again, the reward cards run dry. Or the new soulbound reward thing triggers, and now we can't sell that pressure. There's lack of cards on the marketplace as a result of this. It wouldn't happen overnight, but over a period of weeks and months, there starts to be a drying up of the cards available. That would trigger price appreciation on the cards. That would trigger rental card prices going up. That would trigger DEC, an increased need for DEC, as well as more liquidity of DEC because of the rental income production, as well as the card selling opportunities. And all of that would translate to me toward DEC appreciation. And then I think you start to see, I think SPS follows that lead, I think. So I almost feel DEC is the more likely of the two to have a short-term opportunity, but SPS I think has the longer-term maximum opportunity because it can go from not 3 cents to 6 cents, whereas you could see a doubling of DEC really, but I think you could see a 10x, a 20x, maybe 100x. Yeah, what would 103 cents goes? Yeah, I actually think you could eventually see a $3 SPS. Man, you guys are on fire. This is amazing. Black Feather, good to see you, brother. What is the most utility right now? I'm thinking DEC or cards. Any other opinions? I definitely feel DEC is full of utility and simultaneously full of short-term opportunity because of all those things I just said. Cards are right there too, man. I think we are in a moment where this game is being, like I said at the beginning of the video, when you believe in something, forget about the white noise of, what others, their disbelief. That disbelief can be a distraction. If you believe, you make your bed and you lie in it. And I think right now card acquisition is a strong option and an opportunity. And rental cards, rental prices, guys, wow. And then, I don't know, I know I have so many more cards than most of you guys. Hear this out, guys. Hear this opportunity. And okay, so what do I got? think my rental, or sorry, my card values is not accurate. This is my card value based on my rentals. I rented a ton of cards. I literally, for this guild brawl, I went through and I went the rent screen and I went alpha, beta, promo, reward, and I went and I rented everything. Like, oh no, not everything. I went fire, water, life, dragon, neutral. Five different splinters. I rented everything at the highest league levels for gold, and it cost like 20,000 DEC. That's a ton of and that's a ton of value. Why don't I just use my own cards? Because I have those cards. It's too much bother, and I'm making too much money through rentals. I'm making 27,000 DEC a day, and I'm paying zero towards fees, with the exception, okay, that's not entirely true. I've got a premium package through Peak Monsters, which through paying with PKM costs about $3 a month. It's nothing. Like I'm making $400 US a month. Like check this out, 27,000 DEC times even call it 0.006, which is a little bit lower than we are. That's the DEC price times number of DEC per day. And you're talking $16 a day times 30. You're talking almost $500 US a day worth of rental cards. And yes, I have cards that you don't have. Yes, this would be really hard to acquire. This is roughly $60,000 worth of cards. It's not likely that you're going to just quickly put together such a portfolio and have this opportunity. But this opportunity on a smaller scale is definitely available. And still the rental, the reward game is available. Like I'm so excited for what we're doing here.